Hello, I'm Haim Bresheeth, and I'm joining you for your celebrations of liberation and the end of occupation. I'm speaking from Jewish Network for Palestine, a group of thousands of members and followers of anti-Zionist opposition to the Israeli genocide in Gaza. The gravity of this genocide is really unbelievable. Nothing like this has happened in my own lifetime, and I'm not very young. To see a genocide on social media, on telephones that children carry, where they can see the death of other children, of thousands, tens of thousands, around 20,000 children who now died in Gaza. This is a terrible shock to all of us, to everyone in the world, to everyone with a conscience who cares. And it is the duty of all of us to oppose it, to bring it to an end, because it actually endangers not just international law, but even the idea of a legal system and the idea of any human values that we should follow. This is not just a war of Israel against Palestine. It is not just ethnic cleansing and genocide. This is the West fighting against the rest, reminding people everywhere in the world what will happen if they resist the corrupt Western advances. Now, the West and Israel are not doing this as a sign of strength. Israel and the West are weak and declining. And these are actions, these are mad actions, irresponsible actions, illegal and immoral actions of empires in decline. Of course, mainly the US and its servant, rather disorderly servant, Israel, that sometimes actually decides what the US should do and dictates to it what it wants it to do. Now, Zionist Israel has moved from ethnic cleansing to genocide. This is a terrible move. The Israeli occupation was terrifyingly brutal even before the 7th of October. But now it has invented a form of getting rid of the Palestinians from their own land, which we have not seen before, not even in the first Nakba. We have to identify this and to fight it in any form that we can to join the Palestinian resistance to the settler colonial project by the Israelis and the Western supporters, the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and the whole of Europe, and of course, some other countries who are actually working with the West, like India. The West, on the whole, is in decline, like Israel. And while it is in decline, it is the most dangerous. And President Biden is the most dangerous of all American presidents in history. He is the only American president that started two international wars and is building up towards a third against Iran if he's not stopped and if he is elected again. I am not under the impression that President Trump, if he's elected, will be any better. This is basically an indication of what has happened to the most powerful nation in history. It is in terminal decline, as is Zionist Israel. They are, Israel is definitely unsustainable. It's a society which is voting for genocide. You can say that because around 93% of Israeli Jews, I mean, support this genocide, this is the most democratic genocide in history. And hence, Israel is no longer a regime that can be supported even by its own citizens. We must do everything we can so that the UK government, which has immorally, illegally, and illogically supported, paid for, armed, and allowed its citizens to fight in Gaza against women, children, and unarmed men, to kill tens of thousands of them, and then come to Britain and behave as if they were normal citizens and normal human beings. This has to stop. And we should all act through our unions, through our universities, through our places of work, through our local constituencies, to get rid of this government and not vote for any other party whose leaders, like Keir Starmer, voted for genocide. We should not forgive, and we should not forget. You might want to wonder what is the right solution, political solution for Palestine. The Palestinians have had that solution worked out for decades, and only under immoral pressure in 1988 by the US changed it. Their solution historically was one democratic state in the whole of Palestine, and they voted for it since 1947. And in 1947, the Arab state put that solution to the UN and were rebuffed by the US and other Western countries that voted for partition together with the Soviet Union, one has to remember. So what should actually happen is that we should all accept the PLO solution, the PLO historical solution. The PLO is no longer supporting it, but the Palestinians support it. That is, that all people in Palestine, that is historical Palestine, including those Israelis who are not racist and agree to live in equality and in justice and in peace with the Palestinians, should be the citizens of a republic, the Republic of Palestine, that will rule from the river to the sea. That's the meaning of from the river to the sea. And of course, not only the people living now in Palestine, but the Palestinians that were ejected in the different wars in 1948 and in 1967. More than 1 million Palestinians were ejected forcibly by Israel in those wars. And they are now 6 million people living outside of Palestine. They have a right to come back to their country. Their homes don't exist, but their country does. And they need a home, their home, and they need freedom, justice, and equality and human rights for the first time in their life. This is the solution that we anti-Zionist Jews and many other socialists and progressive people across the world agree is the only just solution. Those Israelis who don't accept equality welcome to leave to any country that will accept racists. They have no place in Palestine. Those Jews who are not just ready, but willing to live in peace and equality are welcome in Palestine, and the Palestinians invite them to stay in their country. From the river to the sea, everyone in Palestine shall be free. Thank you.